Most people will spend their entire lives working hard, paying bills, and dying confused about why wealth never arrived. They'll point fingers at inflation, rigged systems, generational privilege, anything but the mirror. But here's what nobody tells you. Right now, in your city, in your industry, there are ordinary people quietly crossing into financial freedom. Not because they got lucky, because they run a completely different operating system. Wealth isn't a windfall, it's a pattern, repeated so consistently it becomes invisible to everyone watching from the outside. By the end of this video, you'll have that pattern. 10 habits, no fluff, no motivational noise, just the exact blueprint that separates people who look successful from people who actually build it. Let's get into it. Habit 10, they protect the morning like it's their most valuable asset. Because it is. The average person wakes up and immediately surrenders their attention to notifications, to other people's emergencies, to the slow leak of reactive living. Wealthy people treat the first hours of the day like sacred capital, non-negotiable. They identify the one task that, if completed before noon, makes the entire day count. Not the easiest task, not the most urgent email, the important task, the one that builds something real. Everything else, the meetings, the admin, the favors people ask, that's the second half. The bonus round. You cannot escape the demands of life, but you can choose whether they eat your best hours or your leftover ones. Claim your morning first, let the world have whatever's left. Habit 9, they learn with intent, not just interest. Here's a difference that sounds small but compounds into a canyon over 10 years. Most people consume content to escape. Wealthy people consume content to build. Watch how a financially successful person operates in a room. They're asking questions. They're listening. They leave knowing something they didn't know before walking in. They don't perform their knowledge. They harvest yours. The numbers back this up. The majority of self-made millionaires read dozens of books per year. Most top executives average 50 or more annually. And what they're reading isn't entertainment. It's mental infrastructure, strategy, biography, systems thinking, books that rewire how decisions get made. When you're online, the question isn't what's interesting. It's what can this teach me that I can monetize, apply, or leverage? Curiosity without direction is just stimulation. Curiosity with direction is compounding intelligence, and it produces compounding income. Habit 8, they deliberately choose who they grow around. Your 5 closest people are not just your social circle. They are your financial ceiling. Jim Rohn made this observation decades ago. Behavioral economists have since confirmed it repeatedly. The people you spend the most time with calibrate your sense of what's normal, what's possible, what's ambitious, what counts as success. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Not everyone you started with is going where you're going. Some people around you are comfortable, and they will unconsciously make sure you stay comfortable too. Not out of malice, out of gravity. The wealthy seek out rooms where they are the least experienced person present. Not to show off, to absorb new standards, to see what's possible when someone around them operates at a level they haven't reached yet. You don't need to abandon old friendships. But if those relationships aren't pushing your ceiling higher, you need to be intentional about finding ones that do. Your network isn't just your net worth. It's the invisible boundary of your ambition. Habit 7, they play both sides of the financial game simultaneously. Amateur thinking looks like this: earn more or spend less. Pick one, work on it, see what happens. Wealthy thinking looks like this: always both, always at the same time. The actual engine of wealth isn't income. It isn't investment returns. It's the gap, the consistent, protected distance between what flows in and what flows out. Invested reliably over time, that gap is what builds real financial independence. On the income side, skills, multiple revenue streams, business equity, investment positions, all pushing earnings upward. On the expense side, lean lifestyle choices, tax strategy, eliminated waste, all keeping costs in check. That tax piece alone creates more wealth separation than most people realize. The wealthy don't pay taxes on gross income the way employees do. They structure their finances so they're taxed on what remains after assets, reinvestments, and strategic expenses. And here's the discipline piece most people skip. Every time they hit a meaningful financial milestone, they pull chips off the table. Extra profit? It goes into something boring and untouchable, a property that sends monthly income, an index fund that compounds quietly. The goal is never to be poorer than you were at your peak. Most people lose wealth not from inability to earn it, but from leaving everything exposed on the table indefinitely. Habit 6, they don't spend their earnings. They spend what their assets earn. This is the single most important financial principle on this list, and nearly nobody applies it. The roadmap is simple. You work and earn income. You convert that income into assets. Those assets generate their own income. Then, and only then, you spend. Most people reverse this completely. Income arrives, lifestyle consumes it, the cycle resets monthly. For decades, the machine never gets built because the fuel never gets deployed. Your income is not reward money. It's not the destination. It's the raw material. Convert it into cash-flowing assets, property, dividend-producing equities, a business, intellectual property, anything that generates return without requiring more of your hours. Once those assets produce income, that's what you live on. A portfolio generating meaningful dividends allows you to spend from those earnings indefinitely, while the principal compounds untouched. The second you spend the income from your active work, you halt the machine before it gets started. Earn to acquire. Spend what the acquisition produces. Different relationship with money entirely. Habit 5, they build rare skills, then sell them to the right room. You are not compensated for effort, you're compensated for value. And value comes from scarcity. Two people, same city, same hours in the day, same general skill set, one earns 5 times more. Not because of luck, because they built a capability the market doesn't have enough of, and they positioned that capability in front of buyers who can actually pay for it. This is the piece most people miss. There are 2 separate levels to wealth through skills: how good you are and who you're selling to. A consultant charging a modest fee for strategy work is doing the same intellectual activity as one charging 10 times more. The difference isn't the skill, it's the client. One is selling to early-stage founders with limited capital. The other is serving established businesses where a 2% conversion improvement is worth hundreds of thousands. Stop trying to sell to the market you grew up around. Get better at the craft and move upstream. Find the rooms where your skills command the price they actually deserve. Habit 4, they use borrowed money to buy income-producing assets. There are exactly 2 relationships with debt. One quietly destroys wealth, one accelerates it. Financially unsuccessful people borrow to consume. Cars that depreciate the moment they move, experiences that produce photos but no returns, upgrades that feel like progress but leave nothing behind. Financially successful people borrow to acquire. Property that generates monthly rent, businesses that produce recurring profit, investments that yield more than they cost to carry. That's called leverage. Using capital you don't yet own to generate returns that repay the cost and produce surplus. The average consumer credit card rate in recent years has hit historic highs. Carrying a balance on consumption debt means paying a premium annually on things that are already gone. That's not financing. That's a tax on impatience. Debt is a tool. A hammer can build a house or cause serious damage. It depends entirely on how you use it. If the asset it buys doesn't generate more than it costs, walk away. Habit 3, they invest every month, not when the timing feels right. The average investor waits for certainty. Wealthy investors understand certainty never arrives. So they invest anyway, then wait. Over any extended 15-year stretch, the vast majority of professional actively managed funds underperform a basic, boring index fund. PhDs with Bloomberg terminals, full research teams, real-time data, outpaced by consistent, automated, emotionless investing in the broad market. $500 a month, compounding at a modest average annual return, over 3 decades becomes life-changing money. The same amount sitting in a savings account earning near zero interest becomes almost nothing. That gap isn't talent. It isn't timing. It's one decision made consistently, automated, so it happens before you can talk yourself out of it. Set the recurring transfer. Pay the future first. Your lifestyle will expand only to fit what's left, and that's exactly the point. Habit 2, they measure net worth monthly, not feelings, numbers. Most people, when asked their financial position, describe their income. That's not the same thing, not even in the same category. Income is what someone pays you. Net worth is what you've actually kept. Assets minus liabilities. That number, tracked monthly, tells you whether your financial life is genuinely moving forward or just feeling like it is. High earners go broke all the time. Doctors, executives, lawyers with impressive salaries and deeply negative net worth because nobody taught them to watch the kept number. You can feel fine and be quietly behind. The only way to know is to measure. Calculate your number. Track it every single month. You cannot grow what you refuse to measure. Habit 1, they decided and they never went back. Every habit on this list is accessible to you right now. No minimum balance required. No special background needed. No permission from anyone. The only barrier is the decision and the commitment to stop revisiting it every time it gets uncomfortable. Here's what most people don't understand about good decisions. Most of them are directionally correct long before they feel certain. Wealth is built by people who were approximately right and completely consistent, not people who were perfectly right and paralyzed waiting to be sure. The old version of your life will always be there as a fallback. But ask yourself, honestly, what if it actually works? Because it will. If you stop changing the plan halfway through, it will. If this breakdown shifted something for you, share this with one person who needs to hear it. Drop in the comments which habit you're starting this week. Like this video so more people find it. And if you're serious about building real financial freedom, subscribe. Because this channel exists for exactly that. The decision starts now. Make it and stay decided.